Welcome in. It is day 24, and you are with the Meeples Champion. You know, today we're going to be going into a game that is big. It's new. It's one of my favorites, but at the same time, it's been on that edge of a cliff, hanging on, trying to figure out exactly where is this going to be? Not even in 5 or 10 years, but in maybe even 6 months. I've had some questions, and I want to talk about those today. So today, we're going to be talking about the Lost Ruins of Arnak. Lost Ruins of Arnak is definitely a game of the year. It's a candidate minimum. It probably should win in a lot of ways. It has, when I think of my big 7 judging factors, a lot of big A+ wins. The art is fantastic in this game. All the way through. You check out the cards. You check out the way the pieces are made. You don't need an upgraded version of this game. This game comes with such nice little plastic pieces. Whether you're talking about getting the rubies or you're talking about getting the tablets. It's really nice, and it makes the game feel a lot more tangible when you're playing. This isn't just a whole bunch of cardboard. I really think that they went all out with the quality of their components and with their art. When you're talking about the game itself, that first playthrough was one of the most perfect playthroughs I've ever had of a game. My first one was a 2-player game with my wife, and then I went and played 4-player with my friends on the regular weekly meetup we have. And I felt that both games were really, really good. The problem was replayability. For me, I have a lot of ways I judge a game, and one of the most important is replayability. This game, you start to realize with every play, there are not a lot of routes to win. Yes, you can go fight the monsters and collect the points by beating monsters. Or you can go and you can collect by discovering zones and getting more and more points by getting those little abilities up top there. You can buy cards and you can get the points from the cards. But if you aren't working on the tech on the side, if you aren't slowly rising up that tree, you're not going to win. Even more so, even if you are doing that, the reality is whoever's first on that is probably going to win. If you're in a 4-player game and you're in 4th or 3rd place there, you're not winning. It doesn't matter what you do elsewhere. You're losing that game. If you're in 2nd, you're going to have to be very close, and then you're going to have to have dominated everywhere else. Otherwise, 1st place there is winning the game. It's such an annoyance because the game is so well built in so many ways. But you run into this big issue on how can you play the game repetitively if every time you go, well, I got to do the exact same thing I did last time. To me, that ruins a game. Is this game unique? Yes. Does it have theme? Yes. Does it have art? Yes. This game is so great in so many ways, but that lack of ways to win, therefore hurting the replayability, that's a killer. Now, I have heard that the expansion, which I have picked up but I have not played yet, I have heard that this is supposed to completely solve the issue. I'm excited. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping that this brings in some kind of an evening out, some way to advance on the other side. Maybe you get special people powers. I'm not sure what. But it needs something, because if you can get away from the one route to win, even if all they do is say, now we have 2 definitive routes to win and maybe a 3rd that could do at least occasionally challenge, now you've made this game better for me. But if you can't get away from that one route only to win, then the game is not worth buying. So my recommendation is this. You need to look into the games that you're going to get. Try to find a how-to play. Even more so, try to play it before you get it. And try to play it maybe multiple times if you're talking about a big game. This game is large. It's worth a good amount of money. I believe this was $60 to $70. Is it worth the money? That first playthrough, I thought it was. That second playthrough, I thought it was. But that 3rd playthrough, I went, maybe not. And so that's where all of a sudden you start to wonder, how many times does this game need to be played before you know if it really deserves to be in your particular collection? I have a big collection. That kind of collection size obviously comes with birthdays, Christmases, conventions where you get big amounts of games at once. You're not going to have a chance when you're picking up 10 games at once to truly sit down and go play those games 2 or 3 times a piece. It's just not realistic. Now, that doesn't mean you don't get a game night going and put together a list based on that, but then that runs into the other issue I've talked about, which is making sure that you don't pick a game up just because you loved it if it's being held by somebody else in your game group because you have access. So it's hard. You have to find your own route and make your own decisions as to what prioritizes for you getting a game into your collection. I mentioned this game is unique. It is unique, specifically in when you are advancing up that tree. Eventually, you get to have these little side cards that you can pick up that give you an ability. And you activate the ability once, and you're done for the round. And eventually, you can upgrade it, and it has a better ability. I really liked that. I thought that piece was a very, very unique piece to this game. Maybe not to gaming in general, but to this style, a worker placement deck builder game that felt like it was unique in that particular area. So yes, the game is unique. I really like it. I really do. And I want to play it more. I'm excited for this expansion. I'm hoping the expansion solves all the issues I've run into. But my recommendation still right now holds as don't add this to your collection. Wait, learn more. See if it works for you, for your game group, of course. Maybe you don't mind the fact that it's one route to win. Maybe you find that to be more exciting because you still have to do things to collect those resources to go up that side. So you're not just simply going A. You have to go over to the other sections to collect and then run back. So maybe that's enough for some people. Or maybe you're just not overthinking it and you're enjoying it and your group doesn't have anybody really go all out there and they're just having the fun of being everywhere, and maybe you don't care about the winning. Maybe it's just about the adventure. Some people can enjoy that a lot more. I don't need to win to have fun, but I need to feel like I'm competing to win to have fun. To me, there's a fine line there. Some people, all they care about is sitting down with their friends, their family, pulling the game out, and just enjoying their time together. And whoever wins, wins. Who cares? You might not even finish the game sometimes because that doesn't matter to you. For me, the game has to finish, and I have to feel like I competed for the victory. Even if I get blown out, I don't want to know I'm blown out till the end. I want to feel like I was in the game. And then all of a sudden you're doing the point count and you go, I lost by 50. Okay, not a big deal because during it, I didn't know that. That's my kind of a line. Nonetheless, as of now, not a recommend, but next year, when I begin post the 365-day countdown, starting to do my reviews for expansions, I will definitely bring this game back in, talking about its expansion, and letting you know, based on that, my reevaluation. Until then, today has been day 24. We've been talking about the Lost Ruins of Arnak. Get ready for tomorrow on day 25 when I bring in a much smaller game and we see what there is to talk about with that one. Until then, you've been talking with the Meeples Champion. Talk to you tomorrow.